My phone is telling me we are live. Oops. Okay. Okay.
My phone is telling us too.
Yes, we are.
My
We are
phone
live.
is ignoring me.
Okay. So, welcome. Hope everybody's having a great Labor Day weekend. It was, at least in New England, a gorgeous one. I am sitting here. I'm going to scroll back and go.
Gorgeous in Chicago.
Gorgeous. I am
gorgeous in
watching
Chicago.
the traffic leaving Maine into Massachusetts. It is bumper to bumper and has been for the last 6 hours. Nobody's getting anywhere fast tonight. So I am happy to be home. But we had, so welcome to the Groomers Cut. And like I said, hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Thank you for joining us on a holiday weekend. This is kind of a treat to even be doing this tonight. And we had the Master Groomer Council meeting last night. So tonight we're going to update you on what happened with that and what the next steps or where this is going. And I'm going to let Michelle take the platform on that, and then we'll come back and chit chat for the remainder.
We already have in our comment section from Denise King that she messed up the day and time to wanting to be there and wants to watch the recording and still participate.
Yeah, I think that was from this afternoon when I posted this. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the recording before we go into the things. So I'm brand new at that particular platform, so I don't think the recording quite survived my ministrations. So
I can double check, but
but what I do have are notes from the meeting, and we're going to kind of go over what we talked about, what we decided just in the interim to continue forward. So we're going to discuss that. So there is no recording, but this will serve until we can get that more refined, and then we will definitely have those recordings available to any member. So we will do it that way.
And real quick, I just want to say, for any new viewer, I didn't get this, sorry, Michelle. Any new viewer, anybody who is our first time, this is the Groomers Cut. We're the Pet Pro Educators. Give yourself permission on Facebook so that StreamYard can tell us your names as we're seeing all the viewings coming from all the other groups that we have this posted in. We want to hear your comments. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear everything. So we'd like to have a name with your comments. Okay. Now you're up.
All right. Like I was saying, we did have the Master Groomer Council of Best Practices. Our first meeting, our orientation meeting, was yesterday, September 6th. And it went very well, very smoothly. It was just an orientation meeting for any members who wanted to participate. There are certain permission slips you have to give just to share information and keep confidentiality. We are keeping confidentiality from the outside world of our proceedings, but we will be publishing our findings. If you want to participate, please email me, send us your application, or if you go to the top where the files are in Pet Pro Educators, you will find the application to be a member of the Master Groomer Council of Best Practices. Now, we're not only accepting master groomers, we are accepting anyone who is a legitimate groomer. Anybody who works for a living, who clips dogs, clips cats, washes guinea pigs, grooms goats, grooms rabbits, is allowed to attend and have a voice. So we will be continuing on with that. I'm going to run down just a little bit of what we decided to move forward before we open the floor to discussion. So we opened with introductions, basically, of anyone who was there. We decided on the setup and structure of council and voting. It was voted to stay confidential simply because the inner workings may very well be a lot of debate, a lot of boringness, a lot of methodology that is boring to the layman. But if you are a member, you can witness, you can log in and witness all of the proceedings. But if you're not a member of the council, then you will not be privy to that.
And I just want to say a plug about that. That was not necessarily your agenda that it would be confidential, but I think members asked to be able to respect and protect each other, to be able to converse with each other freely without having to worry about, where that would go. So I think it's a great idea.
Yes. Now, I must reiterate from before that the membership is $0. It is free to attend. It is free to be a member. Everybody that attends has a voice. Everybody that attends should be in the grooming industry or a groomer or a master groomer. As we move on, we have decided outside of the meeting floor, we will be general in what we discussed and keep member names out of the discussion. Everyone knows the climate of social media nowadays, and we want to be able to do our good work without the fetters of people who just want to bring in arguments and dissension and name calling. So none of that. It was decided, it was voted on that no name calling is allowed. If there is a debate, it will be very close to the Oxford Rules of Debate. If there is an argument or an impasse, we will use alternative mediation dispute resolution. So all of those things were entered in the minutes and will be posted for members' eyes in the member page. Now, I did create a Master Groomer Council of Best Practices page. We will be handling most of the talk around the council through the Groomers Cut. But actual business of the council itself will be handled, and any information or files will be handled through that page.
It's a page and not a group.
I believe it is a page.
Okay.
So we will morph it as it needs to be different, but right now it's a page. I just threw it together, and if it has to be a group, then we will form a group within that page. So we'll go from there. Okay. All right. We also decided that voting rights are given to certified master groomers. To do the actual voting, it requires a master certification in any of the recognized major certification groups. So that's perfectly fine. We voted also that if you are not a certified master groomer, you are still allowed to have your voice be heard. You can still talk and discuss and debate, but just final voting goes to those master groomers. Simply because we want to encourage people to further their education. Become a peer-reviewed master groomer. That means that a council of your peers has looked at your work and agreed amongst themselves that you are producing master level work in your field. So that is why it is important. We want everyone to be a master groomer. That is the point of everything. That's the point of education. That's the point of our council. We want to make it safer and better for client, dogs, and groomers everywhere. So also dealing with dissension, we follow the mediation rules of engagement as established by the council, which is a boiled down version of alternative mediation dispute resolution.
It is just so great that you looked into your crystal ball in planning this, Michelle, and realized that creating an infrastructure about how we talk to each other over issues that are, by their very nature that we are taking them on, controversial, or there's disagreement, and there's multiple kinds of information and views on it. And it's just wonderful that you built into this council these rules of engagement. It's great.
Yeah.
As a former debate coach, I can tell you these will help people to think more clearly.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's one thing to form a group and then just willy-nilly let people ask questions and let willy-nilly people answer those questions. This is an honest, professional, scientific-based debate team, if you will, a council to discuss those controversial issues that are being argued about willy-nilly in the groups. So it's, we could have just started a group and said, hey, let's talk about hard stuff, and then had those same problems. This is something completely different. We're approaching it as professionals and laying a groundwork of correct communication to one another so that you can actually get your work done. I anticipate that every single individual will have a different viewpoint, a different opinion, and that's fine. That's what makes this discussion valuable. If we only have an echo chamber, if we only have one or two people saying, well, this is how it is because we've been doing it, so we're going to establish rules that just pertain to what we know, that would be ridiculous. It has to pertain to in general. It has to pertain to everybody at a certain level. What are best practices? What do we call a hoo-ha? Well, we call it a vulva. What do we, you know what I mean? All these things have to be
I know, right?
instead of it being so, I have the vapors, I'm Southern or whatever.
Yes.
You have to say, okay, I'm a professional. I'm going to use proper
I can
words.
say the word penis to my student trainees. Yes.
Absolutely. So all those things are discussed. We are writing them down in the minutes, and we are assembling these best practices so that, and then we will have an ad campaign at the end of all this or in the middle of this when we have enough material to make a pamphlet or a book so that you can participate in those practices in your own salon, in your own practices, so that you can say with a little sticker on your window that says, I groom to best practices from the Master Groomer Council. That is important. It's like having an AHA sticker on the outside of a veterinary hospital.
And explain what AHA is.
American Animal Hospital Association set the standards of care for the veterinary industry that are above and beyond a really nice standard of care for veterinary practices. And they did market this to the public. If you, as a consumer, see this sign, then this hospital adheres to standard of care. And they have that outlined on their website. So you know exactly what that standard of care is as a consumer. I would like eventually for us to have a groomer best practices so that you can put on your shop or your salon or your wherever you groom out of a sign that says, I adhere to the Master Groomer Council of Best Practices, so that the consumer knows that you're above and beyond just, using whatever on a dog, using Dawn, shaving it down, that you have a standard of care that is scientifically sound, scientifically based, that you can tell your client, yes, we don't or do shave because of da 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 da. It will be written down. It will be noted. Karens all over will rejoice. It will be fantastic.
I love it. And so does Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. That's great.
So to move through the things that were discussed, we did vote that we were releasing, as we publish each section, we will, or as we get done with each section, we will be publishing each section for use immediately, because we don't want to wait until we're all done, because when are you ever all done with science and being on that cutting edge? So we decided that each piece that we think, okay, this piece is completed, we're going to move forward.
This is a really good component. I also wanted to compliment you on, Michelle, is the idea that it's kind of like a historical progression of great works, like, Shakespearean plays where the next one and the next one can keep coming, or the, books of the Bible or whatever other, open-ended, where history and thought and development of communities and ideas continue to add on to a canon of information. And it's a living document. It doesn't just do a one time and you're, once and done. This is forever going to stand, but that it's going to be alive and dynamic and constantly open to revision and addition. And that's just wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Catherine asked real quick, she asked about if you have a standard of care sticker on your window, must you be a master groomer?
No, not at all. It just means that whatever the Council of Best Practices has established, you're going to be there or above that standard of care. You're going to be there or above those best practices that are established. That's all it means. And those best practices will be posted, so you have a copy of them, and your client also will have a copy.
You got another comment. Yes.
My background was fixed, and then it was broken. Now it's fixed again. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Yes, and I agree. They already have no clue of what we do. This will help. This will make them understand. This is how complicated one normal groom with nothing wrong with the skin can be. One groom takes all kinds of knowledge, breed knowledge, product knowledge, communication knowledge, knowledge of how to use your tools, knowledge of texture. I mean, it takes so much knowledge That is separate from actual hands-on experience that we have to do one normal, regular kennel trim on one dog.
Yeah.
They don't know all the pieces that go into that finished service. So yes, I agree. This will absolutely help your consumer. The consumer of grooming services will be helped by this in the end. It will put us all on a level playing field so that when they come in, they know to ask for a kennel trim, and you need to know how long that kennel trim is instead of, I want a puppy cut. Just give me a puppy cut.
So Michelle, they don't say it like that. They don't say,
oh, they do.
They do this. I want one of those puppy cuts. Like that's so much knowledge on the inside that they have. They're always very proud to be able to throw that around like that. Actually, and then they are always crushed when I say there's actually no such thing and no uniformity at all about what that is. And
which puppy? Which puppy would you like me to make your dog look like?
Yeah.
A whole different breed?
For some people, it's a shave down. For some people, it's don't cut it at all. And
so things like that are actually things we're going to be talking about in the council. So we're going to establish a vocabulary and a terminology of terms and a vocabulary of what the tools are, how to classify them. Like the classification could be rake. Then there's a carding rake and an undercoat rake. And on and on and on. So we're going to classify those. It is very time consuming. This is an ongoing process, but it absolutely is necessary. And this will be published so that it is just ready for everybody to consume, to look at, to see where they fitted there. But it will give the consumer a little bit of legitimacy when they come in. They're like, oh, okay, I understand now where I fit in that standard of care or where I fit in those best practices. I didn't know all that stuff. So now I know what to ask for. Now I know what to expect, and so there will be less miscommunication between the client and the groomer, and better off for the dog. So the dog won't suffer in between.
And every other industry does this. We're like uniquely alone in that we don't do this. Every other industry that you can think of, from human cosmetology and haircutting to, plumbers and electricians and accountants and lawyers and doctors, they all have this in their industries. We are literally the only industry that I know of that doesn't have this. We are just uniquely far behind. And I think it has to do with the fact that grooming as a profession has been sort of an underground one in many parts of the country for a long time. People just, hanging out a shingle, buying a book, buying a pair of clippers and calling themselves a groomer, and no regulation whatsoever because it wasn't people related, it was animal related. And, it's really a step forward for our profession to make us more like others.
Well, I guess we can stop saying that because we're official now. We do have a council. And anyone can join. If you're a groomer, absolutely. I invite you to get your voice heard as well. We want as many viewpoints as possible. So in the end, we all agreed that our first issue that we will be discussing will be terminology and vocabulary. We decided to tackle something that everybody could kind of agree on more than all the controversial stuff that's going to come later. Let's start them soft and we'll work up to the hard stuff. So terminology and vocabulary are going to be our main focus at our next meeting, which is on September 27th at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So.
Yeah, I'm making a face at that.
Those time zones are important, said the social studies teacher. We already had one person that missed the meeting yesterday because they didn't have the time zone right. So yeah, time zones are important.
Yes. Kelly Finn, will anal glands be discussed? You betcha, lady.
Yeah.
You betcha. And if I can offer some advice, in my personal opinion, as a master groomer myself and a master pet esthetician, I will tell your client and your veterinarian to their face that anal glands are an internal organ, and we are not responsible for anything internal. We are groomers. We work topically with topicals. That's it. Goodbye. Do your job, vets. Do your job. Do your anal glands. Do your job.
I got two little girls here that like having their butt squeezed.
bet they're your dog.
I'm going to say that in a.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know. I
If your
got
clients want to do it at home and you want to do it on your dogs at home,
yeah. I'll
go
do
for
it
it.
on my
No
girls,
one
but
can
God,
tell
I
you.
don't want to do it if
No
I don't
one.
have to. Ugh.
Yeah, and there are reasons. There are reasons why you should not, but absolutely, this is not
Yeah.
the forum to talk about this right now. But
Oh,
yes, it
yeah,
will
yeah,
be
yeah.
addressed, and I will have my big mouth having my say at that time. So, absolutely, there are actual scientific reasons why we should not just carte blanche do anal glands at every groom. It's unnecessary and it is rather unhealthy,
Yeah.
scientifically. So.
It's true.
Very good.
All right. So, do we have any questions at all about the council or about other things? It doesn't matter. This is just our current topic that's fresh.
What would be a way that people could suggest topics that they would like to see us address?
A great way to do that would be to join the council. Then you get to submit things to the floor. Yes, join the council. Then you have a say.
Is that the only
so-
way to suggest topics?
You can suggest them, but in joining the council, you can make that a reality because you're part of the discussion. We want you to be part of the discussion. How can you not be part of the discussion and not join the council and then say, well, why don't you guys talk about this? No. Join the council. If you want to be a part of it, be a part of it.
So I'm going to clarify this because now I'm kind of confused. To be on the council, originally when we had started this, it was certified master groomers. That kind of took a twist and we had that whole name and people were voting. All those names, you sent out all the applications. So now if somebody wants to be on it and have a voice, they can have a voice, be heard. They fill out the application. It doesn't matter who, what, where, when, how, why, how long they've been in the industry. They will not necessarily be able to be in on the voting.
No, that's it. They can be part of the work and the discussion, but the voting will be restricted to master groomers, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody can join. Anybody can be heard. Anybody can put forth something to the debate floor, period. And then we will take subcommittees to handle those topics that need to actually be debated. Because I'm sure in anal glands, and this is just an example, there will be people that are going to say, oh, I do them every time and I want to do them every time. There's going to be people on the other side saying, I never want to do them. So we will assign those people to subcommittees. They're going to gather their topic, why or why not they want or should do anal glands. And then that gets heard on the floor. And then everybody votes after a debate happens in the council itself, which will be all the master groomers. Is that understood? Is that clear?
Yeah, and Kat Samard is asking how we join the council, and that would be on the. Should they contact you first, Michelle, and to do the paperwork, or should they just go to that Facebook page?
All you have to do is go to the very top of the Pet Pro Educator page, the group page, and in files you'll find the application, and you fill it out and send it to the email at the bottom of the application, and then you're added to the rolls. And then you will get an email every time there is a meeting. You will also be allowed to participate on the group page, Master Groomer Council of Best Practices, where we will list all the minutes. We will list all the videos when I gear up and actually learn how to make videos out of Zoom. So all that stuff will be there for you to access, all the research. We are also probably going to start a journal, a groomer's journal, a peer-reviewed journal that is scientific peer-reviewed articles online that groomers can access that are focused on grooming, on hair, on
or relevant.
All relevant pages, right.
There's not a lot of scientific journal articles on grooming, but there is things that are groomer related, like
skin,
the Langerhans cells,
right.
Dying in the sunlight, and they, can contribute to cancer. And those are in the skin cells, that kind of stuff. So there's related stuff. I think that would be something like a Google Docs where everybody can access it. Is going to be such a great thing to have this library online. So Kat Samard, I hope you will go and join.
I believe she's already submitted her things.
Oh, okay, good.
I believe so. I will check because I have that power right here in front of me.
And it's at the top of the Pet Pro Educators Facebook page under files, where it says files. That's where all the documents are.
Correct. Yeah. No, I don't have her. I don't have your things, ma'am.
Okay, Kat, I'm on ya.
Got to turn in your paperwork.
Yeah.
Be part of it. Absolutely.
She'd be a great person to get.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa wants to know if the Facebook page is up now for the council.
Yes, the Facebook page is up right now. And as always, because I am somehow illiterate while being very technologically savvy, I made it a business instead of a group. So I can't even upload anything there yet. So it will be there. And I do have the name, but I have to fix it first, like my background. So, so that's where I'm at right now. But yes, it is actually in the making, will be made probably by tonight when I send out all of the minute meetings to everybody who participated, everybody who's a member, I should say. So all of you will automatically get an invite too when I get that group together and have those files going. So.
Okay. So you're not going to cap it at a number. There's not, if there's 200, 300, 400 people in a Zoom meeting or whatever.
60,000 people that groom in this country want to join the council, they can.
I love that. And that, because it is by groomers for groomers, and it's all going to be done online and virtually, and people can participate. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And again,
and by the way, how did you get that number that there are 260,000 groomers?
I just made it up just now.
Okay.
No, it's about, because she's pretty right on. It's a very low number.
And where did you get your information, Dara? Because I've been I saw something in Pet Age magazine some years ago that wasn't anywhere even close to that.
It was a National Data Council.
Huh.
Yeah, I looked it up. I did it. I actually wrote it in my article that I had submitted into the IBPSA for terminology for them.
Check this out. Hold on. This is even better. Wow. And this was in, let's see if I can find a date, in 2017. And I know we're much more than that now. In 2017, there were only 105,000 and some odd groomers in the U.S.
According to
the Pet Ag magazine.
Pet Age?
Pet Age, yeah.
Pet Age, yes. That's the number that I was more familiar with.
And it is APPA Marketing Research Center.
Yeah. And that is that considering that there's 350 million dogs, that's a really lot of dogs per groomer. And that's why we groomers should never be competitive with each other, always be collegial, never have to worry about there being enough work for you. If you do a good job, you're going to get all the business you can, because there's way more dogs than there are groomers. And I hope that people will hang on to that.
All right.
So it looks like the American Pet Products Association is actually the one that publishes the statistics in a comprehensive report that analyzes pet industry growth every year for the pet industry. So the APPA is actually who you will get your marketing information from.
I just popped on to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's where I got mine. And right here it says just about 104,000 businesses currently operating as dog groomers in the United States, with an average of an 8% growth rate. There are 189,384,000 individuals employed as groomers.
Not very many of us.
That is legally being reported. So
yeah, right.
that is the Department of Labor. So that's
true. And then there's the flying under the radar.
Yeah.
The cash under the table people who are shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah. The hobby groomers.
Yeah. You're hurting all of us. You're hurting all of us. You know, we want to help you be better. You know, we want to help each. Yeah. I wonder how many groomers are not reported. Kat says, you have no idea.
Yeah.
But sometimes we see the results in Fix-It grooms coming across our tables. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So it is a low number. All right. We did great. Do you have anything else? You want to wrap it up with anything?
just want to remind everybody that at the top of the page of Pro Pet Educators, you can, in files, you can find the application. If you want to have a voice, know what's going on, be a part of it. And also our next meeting is on September 27th at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time.
That, and let's promote us. Hey, the three of us are speaking at Groom Expo West this
weekend.
Groom Expo this weekend. So come visit us there on virtual. What else do we have coming up?
Dara, what are you doing? What's your workshop?
Mine is on being the star employee.
Well, that's a good topic. Michelle,
they're challenging me. They are challenging me.
That's right. And Michelle, what is your workshop at Groom Expo on?
My workshop will be on the psychology of dogs and their behavior.
I love that. And
we know what you're doing. No.
I'm doing the combination code. I can't do all 15 in 1 hour, so I'm just doing the combination code, which is the biggest category of all. It's that, when you cross a fur type dog with a hair type dog. Yeah.
Very good. Well, and I'm going to do one more plug here. I need to, because I am doing a day-long program September 27th. Yes, September 27th, the day with Dara. That, I know it falls right on our day, but it is a certificate business program through Precision Sharp that I'm doing. So if anybody is interested in that, it's 4 workshops or seminars throughout the day. They are state licensed. So you will get a certificate for the completion of those. And it is $75 per person for all 4 seminars. It's a good deal, guys.
Yeah, and if you're a business owner, that's a fantastic opportunity.
Or if you're struggling to be a business owner or thinking about opening up a business, that is the day for you. That is really good information.
What's the date again, Dara?
September 27th.
Great. And how do they register for that?
I actually posted it. I can post it in our group if that's okay with you guys. We'll post it in the Pet Pro Educators. It's on my Academy page. It's on my personal new business branding page. So I've posted that link a couple times. So.
And I'll share my quick bit of news that I'm making progress on the 15 code types being in book form. And I've already gotten several chapters written, and we're going to get something quick into print very soon. And then we'll go for something a little glossier and, with ring binders and then stock paper and other things and more diagrams later. But this is it's exciting. Exciting.
Yeah. We got a lot of busyness coming up this month. It is going to be a busy month. So, we have our show next week, and I have been racking my brain too, trying to say, thanks so much. Yes. For what we want to do next week. So since we're kind of going to slow down on this and we're going to talk about our vocabulary, anybody on here that's watching it, please let us know if there are terms that you want us to even look at for this council. If you don't want to be a part but want to submit them in, send them in. Let us have a go at that. We can the council can look at all that too.
What are words that groomers use that they don't always use the same word to refer to something? And what are the terms that you would like to get clarified and solidified and standardized? That's a great. That'll be such a service to our
homework to the council that was at the meeting was to bring all of their terminology that they can about trims and body parts and how they explain things to their client and things of that nature. Then terminology are just going to be straight up, absolutely real names for parts. But as far as vocabulary goes, we're going to try and start working on a standardized way of saying a shave down, which is a kennel trim. Fair enough. So.
We're being asked how much time is involved to commit to being in the council. You said we were meeting like every 3 weeks?
Every 3 weeks, yeah. And everything will be recorded eventually so that if you can't take part, we will advertise major votes on different sections. If you want to take place, if you want to participate in the voting itself, we will advertise that way in advance so that everybody who has the right to vote will be able to vote. As far as how involved you have to be, You don't have to be involved at all, but we do ask if you join the council, if you want to have a voice, please be a part. Participation will make it better. If everybody just sits on the fringes and doesn't say anything or doesn't bring any paperwork or doesn't find information to give to the floor of debate, I mean, that's kind of a moot point to just hang back and not participate. I want everybody to have a voice. And if you don't really have anything to say, I'm sure that when we do publish, you'll just find out later, I guess. So, I mean,
way to look at it. Yeah, find out after.
If you don't want to participate, I don't know what to tell you. So,
please,
Jessica, please share our information onto the Maryland Professional Pet Groomers Association.
That's a really good idea. We should put all of this on the NAGA, the National Alliance of Grooming Associations, where all the state groups can access it. I think that it would be important for people to hear, again, this invite, in case people have never heard of this wonderful show you do every Monday night, Dara. It would be really good for people to know.
Absolutely. I believe some of us are on the NAGA Council, so I think let's do it. Well, why not? I mean, that's a good place to start.
Yeah. It's a good platform for it, too. And we're about due for a meeting. We haven't had one in a while.
Yeah. I'll talk to Christine and I'll call it if need be.
That's right. Yeah, Becky, I don't answer your question. I don't know. I don't really understand if you don't have enough time. When you do have time and something comes up and you have something to say about it, join the council. Say something about it.
There was a Facebook user who says she'd love to participate, but she's so new and she doesn't know if she has anything to offer. Yes, you do.
If you pick up a clipper and you groom dogs for a living, this pertains to you. Please fill out an application and join us and have your voice heard. You're just as important as a new beginner as anybody that's old and grizzled like me. We're all important. And I invite all of you to come in. Maybe you'll learn things that you don't know. Maybe you'll bring a fresh new perspective that us old timers haven't thought about. So please, yes, we are all rooting for you. We all welcome you. Please come and have your voice heard.
Excellent.
All right.
All right, we're good, guys. All right, so we'll come up with a topic for next week. Sorry, I'm following. For some reason, I feel like I'm not getting everybody's feed, and I'm getting on my phone for comments. So I was just checking to see if
I will tell you that next time that we have our show a week from tonight,
yes,
will be right after Groom Expo, and we will have had all of those awards given out. And that might be a very interesting topic for conversation.
Yeah.
There's so many interesting things, categories for awards now, and the shows and the contests and the speakers and the different products, new products of the year, all that. It would be really fun to discuss that.
That's a good idea.
It's kind of like our Oscars.
Yeah,
it is like our Oscars. And Chris Pearson actually started the page also. So maybe if you want, bring her on and she can tell us about hers and the people who won last year. Because that was a nice little online that really didn't get a lot of play overall, and she had some really nice awards for people. And it's different this year. The categories are different this year than they were last year. So I like that. Let's do that.
Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll Joan Rivers it.
That's right.
All right. What do we want to call that?
Dog, no.
We'll call it our is there an after awards award show? Is that good?
There is now.
After awards award show. There we go. That's it.
We can dish a little bit about it. Yeah.
Dishing.
Yeah.
Dishing. All right. Write my notes. All right, ladies. Have a good night, everyone. Happy grooming. Have a good week. And
happy Labor Day to everybody. We all labor very hard. This profession labors very hard. We work hard for our money. So all groomers, Labor Day, hooray for all of us.
Yep. It's for us.
Yes. All right. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, Terry Hinkle, we can see your name.